Welcome to Positive Talk with Kevin McDonald. Hey, that's me. Hi, and welcome to Positive Talk. Our show features the best positive stories and people from around the globe as we endeavor to answer the universal question of why am I here and what is my purpose? Understanding that can change everything, and knowing your greatness is fundamental to living your best life. So join us right now as together we work to create the adventure of our lifetime. I just have to say, I'm so excited today. We've had a great series of shows, and this is going to be another one because this gal and I, before we were a thing, she came on my show on a regular basis. Now that we're a bit more of a thing, and she's back for the first time in a while, and I'm really interested to talk to her and to see the cool interaction that Rochelle is going to have with her. So would you care to introduce our guest, young lady?
No. This time you introduce her.
I would like to. She is she's in Canada. She's in a province back east. She is a national champion kickboxer. She is a podcaster. She is an author. She has got a wonderful personality and disposition. Her name is Randi-Lee Bowslaugh. And how are you, kiddo?
I am fabulous. I'm in Ontario.
Well, if it's east of Vancouver, I don't know where the hell it is.
Well, when you say east, I think of like Nova Scotia and Newfoundland and all them. So to me, I'm like in the middle, but that's just me.
Yes. And is it still snowy there?
No, it's been rainy. It's windy today. It's warm, but windy.
Mm-hmm.
I hate that. Well, I hope you don't lose your internet connection, because in the interwebs, we want to stay and keep you going.
Well, if I do, it's because you just jinxed it.
I know.
Your
How
fault.
you been, by the way?
Pretty good. Look, I've got my little sidekick over here. This is Smokey. She's a jerk. Yeah, she is.
Is that your kitty cat?
It's one of my kitty cats. Yes, I have 5.
Yes, you go, girl.
Yeah. The dream has always been crazy cat lady. I think I've succeeded.
How many litter boxes do you have?
5.
Oh, they each have their own bathroom. That's pretty cool.
Spoiled.
Yeah. Well, they got to be on different levels and stuff. So like they share them, but like throughout the house, there is 5.
Very nice.
Oh dear. And so how often do you have to change the litter? But do you change them daily?
I would say every other day.
Oh,
laziness.
I know. I know. Well, Randi-Lee, I want you to introduce yourself to Rochelle, because you do so much, and Rochelle needs to know you because you're just, like awesome.
Okay. Well, Rochelle, I've been coming on this show for years now, and it's my favorite show to come on. It's so much fun. But yeah, I mean, you said all the things I do. I'm an author of lots of books now, a lot of nonfiction, and then I've got some kids' books. I was actually just bugging my kid. We got to get the pictures done for the next one. I don't really draw too much. I get her to do it. And so yeah, that's still in the works for a long time now. But then I've got my YouTube show called The Right or Die Show, all about mental health. And I love talking about mental health, and I don't know, all the things. I'm an open book, like literally, because that's what I wrote about.
And you really are. And before we began, I mentioned to Rochelle that you were a kickboxing champion, and she was like, I wanted to do that. I like hitting things.
Because it's fun.
Yeah.
Because why have you never done it?
Girl, I think it's because of the money. But I can think about how much confidence I could build in a kid, and how it could also maybe be dangerous for the wrong kid. But I'm glad I waited till I was older to be able to make that decision.
Can you, if you have a stature of 5'1", can you be a good kickboxer?
Well, my stature is only 5'3.5", so yeah.
See?
Apparently so. And and you like to hit women up about the head and neck and shoulders and
Oh
stuff.
my gosh, it's my favorite. In my one of my early matches, actually, in 2015 is when I won the national championship for my division, and I remember it was the first time that I had hit somebody so squarely on the nose that it was bleeding, and I was kind of like stopping a little bit, and like looking at the ref, like. Do we stop? They're bleeding. And I even said, I'm like, there's blood. And the ref was like, keep going. I'm like, oh, okay, now I'm gonna aim for it.
Yeah. Are you sure I might kill her?
Right? So that I mean I just had a target now.
Yeah.
And so you kept beating on the nose, which, by the way, you've been hit on the nose. There's nothing that hurts as much as getting hit on the nose.
Getting kicked in the rib, I would say.
Oh.
Ooh, I suppose. Okay.
Yeah.
You win.
Yeah, it hurts a lot.
Yeah, being able to, I bet you have to build up your body to a certain point to be able to adjust to taking hits like that.
Oh,
Because
for
if
sure.
you're
Yeah.
not flexed up, it's gonna hurt.
Oh, there's days in training. I mean, I don't so much do it anymore. Just because physical health. But there would be days in training that you're literally standing in a line as the like recreational athletes come by and they're punching you in the stomach. You just have to sit there and flex and take it so that when it came fight time, you could take it.
Yep. It's a hard way to get used to it. I've been punched square in the side of the abdomen and it dropped me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not pleasant.
And it was by a little kid. I couldn't imagine if it was a full grown person.
Right? Yeah, it's not pleasant at all.
Well, I was a boxer. Did I ever tell you that?
You totally did.
I was afraid of that because now I can't tell it again. But I don't think I did. Rochelle, did I tell you that I was an amateur boxer?
Yes, and I mean, more than kickboxing, I think I would get into boxing itself, just straight up.
Really? Oh, kicking is where it's at. Seriously. I love kicking, especially like if you push kick somebody right square in the face.
Yeah.
Like that's my jam.
See, I've done that to somebody's chest and I felt pretty strong in the moment. But I mean, I'd probably be good at it from all the figure skating. My legs are probably a lot stronger than I think.
Right? And you'd have really good balance.
Oh yeah. And that's one of my things.
You need good balance when you get hit in the head so you don't fall over.
Well, that and when you are then kicking somebody in the head so that you don't fall over.
Yeah.
Oh, that's probably true too.
If you don't follow through, you're going down.
Yeah, exactly.
I had stubby little legs, so kickboxing wasn't going to be for me.
Yeah. I have nice long luscious legs. I know they're not really that long. I'm kind of short, but they're luscious.
Yes, we love luscious. And speaking of that, when we came on right before the show, you had showed me your first book. Remind me
my
what
newest.
That's called.
The newest book, not my first one, the newest one.
Yes, your newest book, Thoughts of a Warrior. And I think of when you fight, I mean, you're a warrior. Tell me a little bit about what that book is.
There we go. We got to see the whole cover because it's really important to see that it's a road going off in the distance.
Yeah.
So this book is a follow-up to my first book that I published in 2017, which was called Thoughts of a Wanderer. What?
Okay.
And on the cover of that book, there was again this road going off, but it was all dark and stormy and tornado-y. So that's why like it's a reverse in this one. So this one, to understand why that is so important in this book. My cat is jumping at something. The first one is, so they're both poetry, but the first one is dark, depressed, not happiness. This one is more of the like coming through it. There is still ups and downs in life, but like the better side of life and trying to appreciate other things that we have, which is why there's also like pictures of nature and stuff in here. Like, okay, hold on. Oh, this is a really cute. at that guy. That guy lives in Cuba. That guy lives in Cuba. But they're matched. The pictures are matched with the poems so that we can have this appreciation for the small things, the beautiful things. It's all about coping. It's all about feeling good. So that's what this one is more about, poetry, but coming out the other side.
Now, do you have a favorite poem in that book that's not too long that you could read? Maybe?
Totally do. So it's actually the very last one in here.
So you make people wait till the very end to get the best.
I do.
Yes.
Except on your show, I'll give it to you. Now this is it's my favorite again because going back to the very first book, my favorite poem in that book was called Mirror Mirror, and it was about how depression feels. So this one is called Shatter the Mirror. See what I'm going for there?
Yeah.
All right, you ready for this? You ready?
Yes.
Yes.
I look in the mirror and what do I see? An empty soul staring back at me. That was my life for so very long. There was nowhere to belong. It took me a while to find who I was. What was my life and my because? I wasn't really here, I just subsist. But now I'm happy and I truly exist. Now I look in the mirror and what do I see? A soul full of life stares back at me.
Dude, that literally is me. That is beautiful. And I'm guessing that relates to you in probably so many ways from where you've come to now.
Oh yeah. Yeah. All of these are very personal. And yeah, that is definitely that the first line in there, the I look in the mirror and what do I see? An empty soul, that is taken directly from that first poem, Mirror Mirror, where I'm describing what depression feels like. So this is really a rewrite of my life, right? A rewrite of, no, depression does not own me. Yeah, okay, I have it. I probably always will, but it does not own me. It doesn't need to rule me. And so this is what that is about.
Well, if you were to just walk up to you and have a conversation with you, you would have no idea that you were depressed at any time in your life because you're so effervescent and vibrant and
I mask really well. I got this beautiful mask. And
Me too.
antidepressants.
But that's why you like to work and talk about mental health.
Yes.
Because, and by the way, that mental health is a thing.
I totally know that.
It is. It used to be, he's kind of, like off. But don't tell him.
He's
don't talk about it.
Crazy. He should go to the insane asylum.
Yeah, exactly. Then that used to be the way it was. And now times, and I'm really glad that times are changing because people are recognizing that we all have some form of, like the cat that cat has mental illness problems.
Oh, Smokey definitely does. She is insane. But she just figured out how to open the door, so she's escaping now. Okay, bye. Love you.
When a cat wants something, it will get it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she we keep the treats in this one little cupboard in the other room, and she gets in there. And I'm like, I don't even understand how you're doing that right now because I struggled to get in this cupboard. We picked this one because it's a struggle, but no, she got it. Yeah,
that's pretty amazing. So tell us your story behind the depression and the mental illness that you suffered, and how did you get out of it?
Well, that's going to take a lot longer than the time we have.
Okay, then let's take the break first, and then we'll give you an extra minute so we can shorten that story. And then we'll talk about what it's like to be on the other side of it now.
All right, I like it.
Perfect. We'll be right back.
At 67 years young, I never thought I'd feel this good again. But thanks to Purium's Ultimate Transformation Lifestyle, to date, I've lost 37 pounds and gained energy, confidence, and a whole new outlook on life. This isn't a diet. Purium is a complete lifestyle change, giving me all the natural, organic, nutrition-packed superfoods that fuel my body, crush my cravings, and help me burn fat naturally without starving myself. No gimmicks, no guesswork, just a simple, proven system that works. Superfood shakes, detox support, and real results. If I can do this at 67, imagine what you can do. It's your time to feel better, look better, and live better with Purium. Let's do it now, and let's do it together. Go to www.positivetalkradio.net and click on the Transform You to get started. That's positivetalkradio.net. Transform You.
And welcome back to. I just love playing those, and you guys start dancing in your chairs. And
because it's upbeat and fun. I have a new guest for you. This is Binks, or at least Binks's butt. She is the newest addition to the house. She's just a baby. She's not even 1 year old yet.
Oh, and she loves you too.
Yeah, she's a sweetie pie on
Yes.
her own terms.
Well, like I say, because I worked with Martha Norwalk, who's an animal behavioralist, and she tells people, dogs have masters, cats have staff.
100% we do.
It is true.
Yeah. Don't you? Yeah.
Yes. And by the way, that commercial we did all by our little old self. We did a nice job, didn't we?
Oh, you did, and I was like, seriously? You lost some weight? Very nice.
Yeah, I cut my leg off.
Oh, is that the trick? Damn it!
37 pounds for one leg is quite the thing.
I had never mind. But yes, and I have. And there is Dr. Marnie. It's nice to see you again, Dr. Marnie.
Hi, Dr. Marnie.
She's been on my show too.
Hey.
That woman gets around, and she's good. She's good. And by the way, Dr. Marnie, when are you coming back on my show? Of course, now you're going to have to wait a little while because I'm kind of booked up. It's because Rochelle's on the show.
Well, I mean, she does add this beautiful flair.
She really does. Is your head getting bigger and overflowing now, Rochelle? Because
No, I think I'm just more emotional to it because it's still almost odd and sometimes uncomfortable, and I'm like, do they really think that, or are these people just gaslighting me all day?
Well, I
I've never
don't
been used to it
gaslight.
in my life. I was definitely the kid that got picked on, and now I am somebody who is shown that it's honoring to talk to me, and I'm like, oh, I feel so special.
I get that because I'm still kind of like in this whole, wait, you want me back on? Are you sure? Like when Kevin used to make a big deal about coming back on the show, I'd be like, are you being for realsies?
Well, and I told Rochelle that you were special, not special as in special needs,
Oh,
but
I'm special.
as a special human being. And Rochelle, I was right, wasn't I?
Oh, yes. And hey, everybody's got a little bit of something special in them. You just have to find it and dig it out.
That's right. You got to let it shine through, but a lot of people don't like to.
No.
Yeah.
It's uncomfortable.
It is very much so.
So worth it. Think about the reward.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and this is a good question to ask both of you. A lot of people don't think about the reward because they don't believe it's possible.
That goes along really well with the fact that we're going to talk about depression and mental illness.
Okay, let's go.
I like it. Down to business. I love that. Well, okay, so we'll bring it all together now.
Okay.
So when you are depressed or suffering from other mental illness, I can only speak from depression, PTSD, or autism, my trifecta here. It's hard to see the other side when you're in it. It's hard to know that there would be a reward or there would be something good on the other side because you're just in this pit of despair, this pit of nothingness. Like a lot of people think depression is sadness. No, it's not. It's far worse because it's nothing. It's literally feeling like nothing. And so if you feel like nothing, how can you even think that there's going to be something good on the other side? Why would you try and find that light we were just talking about? Because there's nothing anyways.
Yep.
And it's hard to convince somebody that there is something better that they can achieve until they have the experience of being able to achieve it.
Mhm.
And sometimes people go their whole lives and never are able to break that cycle that they get into. And that's why it's so important for the work that you're doing. Tell us about that a little bit.
So I discovered one day, quite a few years ago now, it was late, it was like midnight, my kid is crying, talking about why is she so different? Why don't people like her? Because she was being picked on relentlessly in school. And then it dawned on me that I was not being open with what I went through, and how can she understand that, sometimes life sucks. Sometimes not sometimes, people are mean. Period. They're just mean. Not everybody, you guys are great, but people can be nasty. And so how I realized, like, this big revelation that I needed to change and do something and talk more. And that is when I started doing that. And sharing my story, because my story starts way back in the day, as a teenager, really. So, I mean, I could go further back even. I don't actually usually talk about further back, but because you're so special, I will. Normally I start my story with as a teenager, when my mom married an alcoholic, and the house was just insanity. But I mean, if I think about it, going further back is when the trauma, I would say, started, because there was my parents were never together. I don't remember them ever being together. And my mom, she was awesome, but she had to follow what, the court ruling said. I go to my dad's house every other weekend. Oh, I never wanted to. It was she literally had to drag me to the car kicking and screaming because I didn't want to go. Because he was just neglectful. So he wasn't outright abusive. And I think we're talking in the 90s. And unless you were outright abusive, you were fine. You're not being beat. You're fine. But not really. I mean, we internalize neglect as kids. We go, well, you don't actually want to spend time with me. You say you love me on one hand, and then you spend zero time with me on the other. So that would kind of start forming this this lack of identity, this lack of feeling wanted, because I felt like I was not wanted by him. And then on the flip side, of course, at home with my mom, I was a mama's girl. We did movie nights together. She would pretend that we were in a restaurant, make little menus, and it was great. And so there was this complete contrast between the two households that I would go. And even when I was at my dad's, because he lived with my Nana, and I adored my Nana. She was the type of Nana that baked all the cookies and the goodies, and so good. But I didn't have my own room there. So again, it felt like you don't actually want me there. I slept on the couch. It was
Don't
awkward.
belong.
Exactly. Yeah. And so that really, like I said, began the internalization of not being wanted. And congratulations, you guys are the first ones I've went that far back in history. But yeah,
to understand it, and now as an adult to understand it, and people are not perfect by any stretch, and but you understand it now, and so it's easier to rationalize, and it's easier to heal from it, isn't it? Or
yes.
Strike that. Easy is not the right word, because nothing around this is easy.
It becomes capable.
Yes.
Yeah. A little less challenging.
Yes. And by the way, Dr. Marnie, who's been on both of our shows, she's famous.
Mm.
She stepped back from doing podcast interviews. Shame on you.
Oh, cover of Forbes.
Yeah, she was featured on the cover of Forbes Celebrity Magazine. And she also says that she's really happy that we're talking about this, because it can be so needed for family trauma impacts so many people. And I just want to add, I've been doing like 2,500 interviews, and a lot of them have been around trauma and families and stuff. I have yet, maybe you know one, and you can point me in the right direction, but I have yet to meet somebody who can say, yes, my family had it all together, and we loved each other, and we told each
Oh, that's
other.
just my household now.
Well, that's good. That's
Now I'm gaslighting you.
Thank you for your honesty.
Because that's the thing that we don't, and yet people will say they're the perfect family until you talk to them independently from one another behind closed doors, and then the cracks begin to surface, and then it turns out that not everything is as it seems, and we all have to heal from that. Is that right?
Yeah.
It's so bad because, like, when I was growing up, I was the youngest of three. Had an older sister, and my brother was the middle child. And middle childs, by the way, have problems, but that's just
well, that explains a lot.
yeah. and we got together when we were adults and started talking about our childhood. It's like we lived in three different houses.
Yeah.
Because our each experience of it was completely different based upon the order and the sex we were and all of that. And it became really hard for people, and now into her 70s, it still affects my older sister.
Yeah, I believe it. Barney's comment there. Yeah.
Oh, Marnie, I'm so sorry.
That is horrible. As a parent, I can't fully relate, but my kid has attempted and did so recently, actually.
There is nothing in this world that I can think of that would be harder than losing a child, especially a child to suicide.
Definitely not. Absolutely not, because you're never gonna forgive. I shouldn't say you're never. A long road to forgive yourself, even though sometimes there's nothing that you could have done differently when you try so hard and feel like a failure.
Well, and you don't know, and they're not going to. Isn't part of depression and mental illness the fact that you're not forthcoming about how you really feel?
A lot of times, yes, exactly. So I was the same way. I was like that for a very long time. How are you? Oh, I'm fine. Okay. And it wasn't until that, not even past that revelation I was talking about earlier, it wasn't until probably maybe 2017, 2018, I think, right around the time I had my first book, so around 2017, that I started going, maybe I should stop answering that question so dishonestly. So then at work, I would go when I'd be in work and people go, oh, hi, how are you? Because you always say, hi, how are you? Instead of just hi. I'd look at them. I go, do you want the answer? Do you want the actual answer?
You want the truth or a lie?
Right? That's just it. Because a lot of times when you're saying, hi, how are you? You're not actually asking the question. You're just being polite. But unless you're actually wanting to know that answer, don't ask it. And when you are asked, give the real answer. Now, I'm not saying you have to go into great depth. All right. Because, I mean, if a cashier at the grocery store says, hi, how are you? Saying I'm having a rough day could be enough. But just don't lie, is all I'm saying. Don't lie and say everything's all good. Because when you lie outward to somebody else, you're lying inward to yourself. And then you start to internalize that lie. And it becomes more and more believable that, okay, I'll just keep lying. One of my mom's favorite sayings, fake it till you make it. That's what she always used to say to me.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, that is not the way it works at all.
No.
When you fake, that's when you don't make it.
Yeah, and genuinely, I love how you say that. If you ask somebody how they are, please make sure you're being very careful with the way you're asking that and your intention behind it. Um, because you're helping them believe a lie that they know isn't true, and you're also giving them something to kind of push against. Like, and maybe even what I would say with people with mental illness, don't ask that question. You know they're not doing very good. There's so many other ways that you can learn to communicate and see what's going on with someone and the way they're feeling and what's going through their head rather than just how are you. Well,
Like,
I don't. It's a lot of times you'll get the answer, I don't know. I don't know
mhm,
how I am.
yeah. And it's actually kind of interesting that you say that because um, this last time when I went through therapy, so I've gone in and out of therapy for a few years now, a whole lot of years. But anyways, the most recent time, it would always, oh, you have a kitty cat too. Oh, everything has to stop for them because they
I'm
are just
trying to
guys.
like not make it noticeable, but she's pushy. So I'm sorry.
Yeah, mine is all cuddled up in my arms now, so she's content in her life. Um, now where was I? Oh yeah, so when I was going to therapy, therapist would always, hi, how are you feeling today? Because I mean, she genuinely wants to know to begin the session. And
Yeah.
I would say, fine. And she would look at me and go, that's not a feeling. So, I don't know then, right? Like my automatic response is not acceptable to you. I don't know. And then we actually had to work on identifying emotions, which to me sounded ridiculous. I'm like, I'm freaking 30 years old. How do I not know my emotions? But she actually gave me this little chart, like it was a wheel, and it had like your basic emotions or happy, sad, whatever. But then it also had like say for happiness. It would start with like content and then be um joyful, happy, ecstatic, like over the moon. There was whatever words there were. Can't remember, but it was the progression so that you could actually go, "Oh, okay." So I would go into her office then and she would say, "Hi, how are you?" And I go, "Hold on. I got to get my sheet out." And I would pull my sheet out and be like, "Hey, I'm on this line. I'd say I'm right about here. I'm right around I don't know, pitiful today." Right? Like just whatever the word was, I would figure it out. But honestly, it seemed so silly to me. That was a hard sentence to say. That in my 30s, I couldn't answer the question with an emotional answer of how are you?
Yeah.
Interesting. Interesting. By the way, we're
Mhm.
talking with Randi-Lee Bowslaugh and Brachelle and I. And when we come back, Brachelle's going to bring us back because she does such a wonderful job at it. We're going to take a break and we'll be right back.
You're listening to Brushwood Media Network, the best in syndicated talk, news, and entertainment shows.
As you go about your daily life, look closer. As you gather with family and friends who love and support you, look closer. There are youth right in your community who don't have the home, warmth, and healing you have. So look closer. Every year across America, a staggering 4.2 million youth are homeless or trafficked. And for 50 years, Covenant House has worked relentlessly to keep them safe and protected. Tonight, 2,000 young people will sleep safely in a Covenant House bed. And tomorrow, they will wake up surrounded by love. They get clean clothes, hot meals, medical care, and a safe place to sleep. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. In sites across America to help them fulfill the great promise of their lives. So look closer at Covenant House. To help or get help, go to covenanthouse.org.
Hey, 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 hey. Everybody, welcome back to Positive Talk Radio with, of course, the Kevin McDonald, myself, and Randy Lee. I asked this question to a guest earlier this week or maybe last week, and the answer was fascinating because of my own experience. But do you remember the moment when you went through even just giving yourself the option and the opportunity to try to see some other side of things, and did all this silly stuff that you saw was actually working and helping you, and had a moment where you realized, or you maybe said to yourself in the mirror out loud, like, I'm proud of you, and felt what that was like. What was that like?
Ooh, that is a great question. Well, first, I definitely have never looked at the mirror and said I'm proud of myself. Maybe I should, but I have not yet.
Yes, please do that for us both
Oh,
today.
here, look,
I'll
I
do
have
it
a mirror. I have a mirror right there. Look, I'm proud of you. I'm proud of myself.
Hey, you go,
I did it
girl.
for you. Just for you.
Thank you.
I think it wasn't like a big aha moment. It was very small steps for me. It was a progression. Instead of just like a moment where I went, oh wow, this stuff is working. It was a progression where eventually I just kind of was living in this happier place, and then I kind of looked back, I guess, and just went, therapy works well. All right, I guess I'm gonna keep going. It really had a lot to do with that. And then I gotta say antidepressants made a world of difference as well, because I think before them, I know before them, I wouldn't have accepted the therapist's advice or recommendations. And so I think that's a part that a lot of people maybe don't want to do. And I get it. Sometimes, I mean, medication is not for everyone. Absolutely not. But some of us can't get past that first big hill without it. And actually, I just recorded an interview the other day with Kim Langling. You probably, I don't know. She's probably been on your show.
Oh, love her.
Yeah, she's fabulous. We know so many of the same people. So we just recorded. Her episode will come out the first week of May, because of Mental Health Awareness Week that first week. And she said that when she took medication, so she's not still on it, but she needed it for a period of time, which again is great. Sometimes it's not a forever. Sometimes it's a for
That's
now.
what I was just gonna say.
And so she explained it, and it was so beautifully said. So this is her words, that the medication made things from a mountain into a molehill so she could get over it. Because what our brains do is that we turn the molehills into mountains. So this was reversing that concept. And when she explained it, I was like, yes, exactly. Because before the medication, I could not climb that mountain. Absolutely not. I was going to lay at the bottom of it in my pajamas with my tub of ice cream, all cozied up in my dark bedroom. And that is not a way to live.
I got to ask you, did Kim talk about nuggets of hope?
We did not on this one, because this is, I think, her third time back on my show, but we've totally talked about Nuggets of Hope before. Or do you mean her brand new book, Nuggets of Hope?
Oh, I didn't know. Well, now I gotta have her back on. See, Rochelle doesn't know this. What Kim does, she does some extraordinary things. She works with the VA, and she and a group of people at the VA, they get donations and they send care packages to military guys that are overseas. And they may be in the desert, they may be in a place, and they can't get, like, I don't know, beef jerky and stuff like that. But one of the things she does is she takes a polished black rock that's got hope written on it, and she will walk up to people in her community, and she will look to see if they're having a bad day, and she'll just walk up to them and say, "Here's your nugget of hope for today," and turn around and walk away.
I am so gonna copycat that.
I think she would love it. I think she would love if other people were doing it.
I think it should be a thing, because because we all are social animals, and we have the need for each other. And if you can make somebody, let me ask you a question. When you were in a dark place and somebody did that for you, would it change that dark place at all?
Yes. I don't know how. It definitely would have got brighter. I don't know how much brighter. I guess it depends on how it occurred, but it definitely would have been like, huh, somebody somewhere cares. And I mean, I'm also Christian, right? So if that happened to me, I would go, huh, well, okay, God.
God's talking.
I got you. All right.
Well, and I just have to tell you that the universe, God, whatever name you choose to call that deity, there's a special place in his heart for you. You know that, right?
And that's why I think it's so special what she does, because I think it is, when you get something like that, it's like, huh, all right. This was the moment. Like, how many people in the world, and you just happen to be at that place at that time with this certain person who's doing this? Come on. That's something special right there. That's a moment to listen to.
Yeah, and pushing it even a step further, even if you were so dark and so down and it pissed you off, I got to that place where if you tried to show me love and care for me, it would irritate me because I just didn't want it and I didn't care. You may have given me that rock, and at some point I may have thrown it or burned it or smashed it, whatever. But the thought of that would have never left me. And I would have always still thought, what would have happened if I had held on to that?
Yeah.
So
well,
even just not having it physically, just the action of it is so powerful.
Exactly. Kim, so that book, the Nuggets of Hope book, I know that she, in there is the stories, specific stories where she's given the nugget of hope and whatever reaction happened. And on my show, not this time, but the last time she showed when she gave it to the one guy, that's what happened. Something similar. He got mad, I guess. But then he still put it in his pocket. Right?
Yes.
I am mad, but I'm putting it in my pocket.
And when she was on my show, we were fantasizing about, he went home, right? And he emptied his pockets out because of his change and stuff. And the rock came out with the change, and he put it where he puts his change. And then the next day he gets there and he puts the stuff and he sees the nugget of hope. And then that changes everything for him. It's a wonderful story.
It is.
I hope it's true.
I look forward to reading her book. I'm sure at some point I will do that. Because I think that she's gonna have some pretty interesting stories with that.
Well, and we're all a nugget of hope.
Yes. And I have to tell you, Rochelle, we need to get Kim on, just like Randi-Lee, because they have always been really nice to me and have consented to come on the show, and we have a good time and stuff. But they are the reasons that kindness and being helpful exist, because that's who they are. And it's just, and I'm not saying that you're that way every day, but you are working to be that way. And unless you're, like kicking somebody in the head or something. But
that's why I'm the nicest. What are you talking about?
Yeah. Yeah, you have kids that you get to pass on this. The more you heal and recognize in your own and the work you're doing, you're also teaching them so much and giving them something as a foundation.
That is the goal, anyways.
Yeah.
Well, and you're working hard at this, and you're working in your community to help other people to recognize that where they are today does not dictate where they can be tomorrow. And that is so important. And in my world, the past is the past. There's nothing you can do about the past. So let it go. Heal from it, but let it go. Recognize.
Let it go. Let it go.
And my favorite saying is, I have to tell this story because I'm so proud of her. My favorite musician of all time is Paul McCartney. And so I often say, and the gospel of Paul McCartney says, let it be. And she's taken that and wrote it on her mirror, and she's using it. But then I said, Paul McCartney's 82. He's not going to be around forever. I really would love to interview him. And she said, oh, okay. Then what happened?
And then I told him that if I could get in contact with him, he owed me the biggest, most beautiful steak of all time. I'm a
Yeah,
simple girl. I just want a big steak. And
my
and
kind of
after
girl.
bugging them for yeah, after bugging them for almost 3 months, um, they started to be like, well, who is this? And why are they texting this number from their marketing team? And I got a response asking questions about who are you and why do you keep talking to us? So that has been huge. And I'm so excited to be able to have that day where I don't even tell Kevin, I just schedule the show and surprise him.
And then you get a big steak.
Yes, and I get my steak.
She's gonna get a steak that weighs more than she does.
As she would deserve, yes.
Yeah. Yes,
A
indeed.
car would be nice though too. Just kidding.
A car?
Yeah, if you bought me a Lambo, I'll take you on a drive in it.
Well, hold on a second, and you guys talk amongst yourselves. I will be right back because I want to show you something. I was going to wait, but now since you brought it up,
Okay,
I'm
well,
going to
we
show
have
you.
to take a break.
Oh,
So
do we have
let's
to
do
take
that
a
at the
break?
same time. Yes, I know.
All right, we'll take a break, and then we'll be
Ooh.
all right. I was on a roll, and now she's going to make me take the break. Okay.
That's why she's the
And-
boss now. No.
Well, funny you should mention that because most women in my life have ended up being the boss until they're not. We'll be right back.
Last week, Brandon met a girl on a dating app. One day after work, he finally found the courage to ask her out. No answer. He started to panic. Was he being too pushy? Maybe it was too...
Hey, sorry I didn't respond. I was driving. I would love to go on a date. How does tonight sound?
Brandon tried to play it cool, but inside he knew. A girl so smart, so responsible. She must be a keeper.
And I blew the music out of that one,
I
and they
was
didn't.
expecting it.
I know, and didn't get it done. But anyway, Rochelle right now is between cars. It's like between boyfriends, between cars. She's between both and stuff. So
I
what I
don't want
wanted
another boyfriend.
I can't buy you a car, but what I can do is buy you a sticker to put on the car.
Okay.
Oh, that's cool looking.
And
yeah, you know I will.
And that's Positive Talk Radio, and it goes on the side of your car.
That's huge, but I'm all for it. Put it in the back window.
Well, it goes on the metal to metal, but
It's a magnet.
It's a magnet.
Ooh, fancy. Okay.
Yeah, mine is on. I have one on my refrigerator, so I remember where I live, which is kind of important when you get to be my age.
If you leave the house, that is.
If by chance I were to ever leave the house, I have to laugh. When you turn your car on and it goes bing 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 and stuff. I was talking to her and I was getting in my car and I turned on the ignition and she said, "Are you leaving your house?"
I didn't know what else to say. It was just the first instinct of like, whoa, this is out of the ordinary, and I know it.
Because
being at home is so cozy, right? Come on.
Well, and I live here, and it's exactly how I want it to be, and I spend all my time in this room and stuff because I love talking to people, and I love talking to you, and you're just awesome. Let's mention your book again and your website, so people, you know how you know that you are an awesome author when I say, "Well, how many books have you written?" And you say, "I have no idea."
Yeah, I should count next time. But this is my newest one.
Well, and the newest one is all that matters, and it's a book of poetry.
Yeah.
And you are. I love the poem that you told us a little earlier.
Thanks. It's definitely my favorite. And like, hold on, I'm trying to find my favorite picture that goes not with that poem. It's just look at this.
Is that a bear?
It is a bear.
Yeah,
Guess
if you're
who
not
took?
looking, she's got a picture of a bear sitting on its hind legs with its hands up in a bunch of leaves.
Guess who took that picture? Guess how I got this picture? I took it.
You took it.
I took it.
Were you really that close?
I was. So
That's
okay,
awesome.
there is this a place in Quebec called Parc Omega. So it's like I feel like it's a 6.5 hour drive from my house. So we got to go way up past Ottawa and cross border over to Quebec. Then it's like right there. And so it's this basically like a drive-through kind of zoo, but with all Canadian animals. And if you stay overnight, which we always do because it's a long ass drive, you get to go on this walkway. And they have a bear enclosure and they have a wolf enclosure. And so the bear enclosure, you're like right there, but just up above them. And so that's where I got that picture from.
Oh, good.
That's amazing.
I thought that maybe you were in the wild doing that, and
That'd be fun too. I'd
If
do
you
it.
look at that bear, it doesn't look threatening.
No, he was waiting for the so we were there during their feeding time. And so he was just patiently waiting for his carrot to come. But it
I
was
wish I
just
could go out and do that in the wild. I would be out there with carrots all day long.
right.
well, and you know what they say, you don't have to worry about a bear attack as long as you're not the slowest person.
Exactly. As long as I can outrun you, Kevin, I'm fine.
Oh, and that would not be hard.
Yeah, no, me and my asthma don't run.
Oh, perfect. So I just got to save for the both of you. Okay, I'm good.
Yeah,
I think
Totally
you'd
do
be
that.
yeah, but she's barely an appetizer. I'm a meal.
That's okay. He can stop for both of you. It gives me a longer chance to get away.
Okay, so your website again is
rvwriting.ca.
R
RB writing.
writing.ca. Because she's one of them folks that's in, like Canada and stuff,
That's right. I like to come visit though because I'm so close to the border.
That's fair.
Well, that's not going to be lasting long.
Shh, I have an Avril Lavigne concert coming up in June, and I've been looking forward to it because she's playing with Simple Plan, and I really want to see Simple Plan because when she plays in Canada, she's with Fifi Dobson, and that's not my favorite, but Simple Plan is. So shush, I got to cross the border.
And who are you going to see?
Avril Lavigne and Simple Plan.
I met her.
Did you? Wow,
I
fancy.
did. She well, when I was doing Positive Talk on KKNW 1150 AM, I've said that a lot. And there were 5 radio stations in that particular office, and they were all owned by the same company. And there was a rock and roll station there that was top 40. And when I pulled in to the parking lot, I saw this big black truck or a big black limousine. It was sitting there. So I knew somebody was there. And so when I went upstairs to where the studio, there's a common lobby, and she and her entourage, this is when she was hot and brand new. And she's a real little itty bitty thing too.
Yeah.
And she had the entourage there with the big gentleman that protected the little lady from people coming in. So I didn't really meet her. I just
saw her.
Yeah, I just gawked at her and like, that's somebody special. But
well, I mean, that's something too. Come on, nobody else really would have a story like that.
But we're not going to put that out there because she's going to that concert.
That's right. I'm going to that concert.
Yeah, exactly.
Ain't nothing stopping you.
I bought the tickets like 6 months ago. I've been looking forward to it.
Well, I'm glad you're going, and hopefully you'll be able to get back to your country because we may detain you and send you to Cuba.
I like Cuba. All right, it is like
can you detain me too?
They have the most beautiful beaches.
They do, and they're pristine because there's nobody there.
I love Cuba. I've been there a bunch of times. Love it.
Really? I didn't
Yeah,
know that. I didn't. Well, of course, you're in Canada. You don't have the same issues with them.
exactly. We can go, no problem.
And which is really cool. So what do what's next for you? What are you going to write next?
Well, I've started writing a suspense novel.
Really?
Really. A
Um,
little bit outside of the regular zone.
that sounds very interesting. What did you come up with an idea for it, or you just
Yes, so I've got the first couple chapters done actually. So it's funny. My kid came up with this idea that I took and I tweaked it. I would say quite a bit from the original idea that she had, but I still like to give her credit because it came from that one original idea. So it is a story of. It starts with the main character is at a funeral for her parents. It starts there, where then she is taking over the family home, and basically she has to figure out what secrets her grandfather is hiding.
is Grandpa still alive?
Grandpa is still alive. Grandma is dead, but Grandpa is still alive, and so is the great uncle.
Oh,
That
very
sounds
interesting.
interesting.
And she just is on her way to the Humane Society to get a cat, which was not part of the original plan, but she needed a cat. So very
Well,
important. This cat is going to play a really big role now. I just don't know what, but it's coming.
between the two of you, you have 7 cats. Is that right?
Yes,
You need a few more.
I know. Maybe it's because I need to decide where I want to live first. I have all these travel plans and I meet incredible people like you every day and they tell me about all these places. Now Cuba, I'm like, okay, well now I got to go there.
Oh,
So when I settle
beautiful.
down, I need lots of land so I can have
Yes.
lots of the cats.
That is I wish. I always say if I win the lottery, then you'll know because I will be living on a farm with even more cats, even more dogs, and a couple horses.
Yes. A Black Panther, I think, is definitely on my list. If somebody were to
Ooh.
walk in my house and see that, they may think twice about how they're gonna act in my house.
Yeah,
Are you talking about an actual Black Panther?
of
Yes,
course.
it's legal. Well, it can be in many ways and shapes and forms. It's not easy and expensive to feed, but um, cats
Just
are
feed them
so
your neighbor.
superior when it comes to energy that I think if my Black Panther didn't like you, then I don't like you either. And I'm that way with even my small ones. So
Yes, exactly. They are the people radar. They get to decide.
yep.
Because
Weird.
I got dogs too, and they just like everyone. So they're not a very good radar.
Not anybody.
Oh, you pet me? Okay, you're good. We'll keep you.
Yeah.
Give me food and they'll love you.
Yeah,
Yep.
exactly.
But dogs are the only people in my life that I was guaranteed that every time I walked in the door, they were happy to see me. I can't say about anybody else in my house, but they were. That was nice.
Yeah.
So, in
Well, if
any
you
event,
let me, you'll have a new dog next week.
huh?
If you let if you let me, I would still be more than happy to get you a dog, but I'll let you think about it, I guess.
He says yes.
No, I see the
I'll get him a goldfish. Maybe that'll survive and still be heartwarming.
well, the last time I got a rescue dog, the thing decided that he had to mark his territory all over
Ugh.
the place and stuff. So anyway, Randi-Lee Bowslaugh, thank you so much for being on the show. We have
Thank
enjoyed it.
you.
And Rochelle, your thoughts on Randi-Lee?
You are absolutely amazing. I love how you've been able to really get through the nitty-gritty and understand that deep, dark side of where people go, but also to live through it and know that there's more and it, even though that may feel that part of you is still there, it's so rewarding to know that you're doing that as a mother and even as a pet parent because they react off of all of our energy. So I am so excited to talk to you again and have you back because I really want to know all about that suspense book. So Please come back.
I will be back. I will be back. Always. Always back.
She's got the permalink, so she knows she can anytime. she's got carte blanche. Anytime she wants to come on, she comes on. So so Randy,
it helps to keep my head growing bigger and bigger.
As well you should, because you are a special human being and you deserve it. So thank you. And again, we've gone over time. So Rochelle, on behalf of Rochelle and Randi-Lee Bowslaugh, thank you so much for being here on Positive Talk. Have a great day, everybody. Thanks for listening to this episode of Positive Talk with Kevin McDonald. Our purpose is to provide everyone with a positive, entertaining, and educational experience. I would love your feedback and comments about the show, including possible topics and great guest suggestions. Please email me at kevin@kmmedia.pro. And remember, be kind to one another because each other's all we've got. That's